This is the Bob & Brad T2 Pro. In today's video, I will take a look at what comes with this device out of the box. I'll talk about some of the specifications and features of this device, and then I will provide my overall thoughts in the end after using the device. So let's start by taking a look at what comes with this out of the box. So when you open the box, you'll see the case that this device comes in. It's sort of the standard Bob & Brad case. You've got a nice, solid, firm case, Bob & Brad branding on it. You got a handle with a rubber grip, two zippers with no branding. When you open up the case, you'll see everything that comes with the device has its own place inside the case, nice and aligned. You do get a user manual with the device. If it's your first time with a massage gun, definitely read that. In the back of this, there is a quick little guide in terms of what attachments to use, where, and how long. You also get a charging cord. So this is a USB-A to USB-C charging cord. I'll show how that works here in a second. And you do get two additional rubber gaskets for the attachments. Next, you see the device itself. It's a nice compact device. You've got the Bob & Brad branding on either side. It is a dark gray and shiny black colorway. You've got a rubberized grip on the handle. It is a pill-shaped handle. You got an air vent on the back and a power and speed adjustment on the end. At the bottom of the handle, you have the USB-C charging port. So that cord just plugs in here, plug the other end in USB-A, whether that be straight to the USB port or into a cell phone block. Next, it does come with 5 different attachment heads. So you have a firm round ball attachment, a hard plastic bullet head attachment, a softer cushion attachment. There's not a lot of give to this. So this specifically is a little bit more like a flat head attachment, at least on this one. It's very, very firm. You have a hard plastic fork attachment, and then their newest attachment, which is their hot and cold attachment, which this attachment is really a device in itself because you do have to charge this device. It is a USB-C charge. It takes 2 hours to charge it. This has a 1 hour battery life. That's gonna vary depending on what temperature you're using it at. Speaking of that, it does do 4 different temperatures. So there's 2 hot settings, 2 cold settings, really cool and warm, not hot and cold. On the cold setting, it's either gonna be 59 or 50 degrees. On the hot setting, it's either gonna be 104 or 113 degrees. There is 2 different buttons here. So if you press and hold those, there's your heat setting. Click it one more time, you get the warmer setting. Long press it to turn it off. Cold setting, there's your first one, green, and then click it again to go blue. This does have a little bit of a fan in it. I don't know if you can hear that on the mic. It does get really cold and warm quickly. What I will say about that though is with the cold on this, it's not something that I would typically say makes sense to use while the device is massaging. I think it would make sense if you wanted to use this on your face or on a bruised area, use the cool area to help with any puffiness or a little bit of swelling, but not necessarily while it's percussing. So you could either use this by itself or you can put it in the device and hold it. With the warm attachment, it is a noticeable warmth. Again, it's not anything that's gonna burn your skin, but it is warm and it is nice when you are massaging an area to have that additional heat to help promote blood flow. So if you're trying to warm up a muscle tissue, this is a nice little feature with that heat setting. The cold setting, I don't really think you're gonna do a lot, but either of them, it's not a drastic temperature one way or another, but they are noticeable, at least to the touch of skin. But the cold temperature is not really gonna do anything compared to like ice. It's only 50 degrees, so it is noticeable though. So pretty cool that they have this attachment here, but this is the last attachment that comes with the device. I'm gonna go ahead and put this into the device for the rest of this video. With that, I will start to talk about some of the specifications and features of this device. So it does have a 10mm stroke length. That's gonna be the distance that this massage head moves back and forth from the device. So 10mm is pretty standard. It's on par with a Hypervolt. It's less than a Theragun. It's higher than a lot of other devices that are on Amazon. It's higher than some of the other Bob & Brad devices. For me, typically, I prefer something to the 12 to 16, closer to 16, the better. Again, that's a personal preference for me. I just want something that's real deep and percussive. For this, it feels a little bit more vibrational to me, but it does still feel really good. The stall force on this is 40 pounds. I'll show that stall force in a moment here after I talk about the speeds. This is a 5-speed device. So in order to turn the device on, you press and hold this in the back, and it's gonna come on to 2,000 percussions per minute. Every speed beyond this is gonna go 300 percussions per minute more. So if I go to the second speed here, 2,300, you see they are lit up there. I don't know if you can see that on the top. Next speed is gonna be 2,600. Oop. And see, that's what happens if you don't have your attachment head in all the way, is it can pop out. So that's on me, that's not a flaw in the device. I just didn't have this pushed in all the way. So let's get that back up. We're on the third speed here at 2600, 2900, and then the top speed is 3200. So the stall force on this is 40 pounds. That's how hard you have to press it to get the motor to actually stall out. You can turn the device right back on, but 40 pounds is quite a bit. For the most part, you're just gonna be floating over your tissues. You're not gonna be pressing super, super hard. If you do like something a little bit more aggressive, like I tend to, you can press into those big muscle groups like your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings, but you shouldn't really be doing that in your smaller muscle groups. You should just be letting the device sort of float over your body and warm up those tissues. So certainly a noticeable depth to that percussion here, but it does just still feel a little bit more vibrational to me personally. You do have a battery life indicator on the bottom here. The battery is not removable. It does take about 4.5 hours to charge. The battery life is rated between 2 and 5 hours. That's gonna depend on what speed you're using it on, how much force you're applying, how consistently you're using it. It does have a 10-minute auto shut off. So if you're using this for more than 10 minutes and it shuts off, there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing wrong with your device. That is a built-in safety feature to prevent overheating from the motor. So just go ahead and turn it back on if you want. Like I mentioned, the battery is not removable at all. It is fixed angle, so there's no adjustability to this. It's stuck at this 90 degrees. There's no sort of Bluetooth functionality to this. You can't connect it to an app. You can't control the device through your phone, anything like that. It is a relatively quiet device. It can be a little bit loud with this attachment on it, especially when you're using it on your skin. You can hear some noise from the skin, but the device itself doesn't make a ton of noise. You can use this in any public setting. You're not going to distract anybody. It weighs 1.5 pounds. It does feel a little bit heavier than 1.5 pounds, but it's not. It is just a little bit top heavy, and I think that's why, but it is a very compact device. So you see, it's pretty much just the size of my hand here. There's nothing extra to the handle, but that pill-shaped design really makes it nice to grip. The rubber grip on it is nice in the hand. It is currently priced at $120. There is a $30 off coupon as well that you can click, so make sure you click that. This, for being under $100, is a fantastic device. I really like it for that price point. It does come with a 1-year warranty. It is FSA and HSA eligible. Overall, the Bob and Brad devices tend to be pretty good. If I were to provide some critiques of this, and really there's nothing overly bad or overly good that I can say about this, I'll just say I do like that it comes with the hot and cold attachment. I think that's something we'll start to see a lot more devices have, specifically the hot attachment. I like that it's sort of powered on its own, so it's not draining battery from the massage gun. I really like the price point. Like I said, anything under $100 can really be a toss-up sometimes if it's actually a good device or not. So knowing that this is a pretty solid device and you can get it for under that price point is an absolute win for me. In terms of things that I wish they could improve, the cold feature on it, it really needs to get a lot colder for it to be effective in any sort of real life purposes. I think it certainly feels good that it cools down, but I don't think it's going to be cold enough to truly help with any sort of actual inflammation. I think it could help with some puffiness, like I mentioned, if you wanted to use it on under eyes or on your face early in the morning. Just the cold on it on itself, I don't think is really going to provide that great of a feature for anybody. And then lastly, I do think the stroke length, like I mentioned, personal preference, but for me to have a true percussive experience, it needs to be able to pack a nice punch, and anything really under 12 millimeters for me does start to feel a lot more vibrational. So just a few little thoughts on that. I like the case, I like the attachments. USB-C, you know, if it was USB-C to USB-C, or if there was an adapter so you could go A to A, A to C, C to C, anything like that. If it came with a block, that would be nice as well. But overall, those are just some quick thoughts. It is a very well-built device. It works well. I haven't had any issues with it. So continue to check out any of the Bob and Brad devices. Obviously, this is the Pro model. One thing I'll mention is these attachments are compatible with the X6 Pro, the X6 Pro Max, and the T2. So really the only thing from what I can gather that makes this the T2 Pro compared to the T2 is the addition of this hot and cold attachment. So really the only big difference there, but it is a nice addition. Anyways, that is just a quick overview of this device. If you guys have questions of it, go ahead, drop in the comments down below. I'll do my best to answer it. If you like videos like this, please consider giving the thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel, hit that notification bell. If you want to see something specific reviewed, put that in the comments as well. I always do read those and try to find new devices to take a look at. Bob and Brad has a lot of different things in the massage gun space, so it's nice for me to continuously have some of their devices to look at. But I do like to check out a lot of other things and explore new technology as it develops. So if you see anything out there, just please let me know, because I would love to hear about it. But otherwise, that is the Bob and Brad T2 Pro. That's a review. Enjoy your recovery.